may not be your fathers, but we are your anime daddies.
Hey,
Welcome to
yo.
Between Nerds. I'm Aldo Mendez. This is Julius. What is going on, my friend?
Nothing is going on. We are in the height of El Paso wedding season, apparently. It's the first week of October. Shout out to October. Shout out to all our anime nerds and nerdettes. Love y'all. Love all that stuff that y'all are doing.
We are almost done with the season. We are on episode 112.
We never did our 100th episode special. We're almost
Sadness.
We're up to almost at 120.5. This is episode 112 of Between Nerds podcast. We've been doing this for what's math? This is almost like 26, 28 months later, something like that. This week we watched an adaptation of one of the most successful light novels currently in circulation. We watched 8686 this week.
Correct. 86.
Yeah, Spanish. At the beginning of this episode, I do want to go over some housekeeping notes. Our September giveaway ended. It's over, and we had 0 entries. Listen.
I haven't gone to the anime store like in forever, bro. Our local, shout out to Robogato. I haven't been there forever since we stopped doing the hashtag.
We got a couple giveaways from TCG Battleground in El Paso too.
Well, yes.
And the thing about it is that like the giveaway is super easy to enter, right? Like we've dumbed it down so much. It's super easy for anybody to enter at this point.
Subscribe. First of all, subscribe to all our social medias: Facebook Between Nerds, TikTok Between Nerds, Instagram Between Nerds, Twitter Between Nerds. But most importantly, follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Once you're in YouTube, if you happen to go through the list and you like an anime that we watch, or if you hate an anime that we watch, go ahead and watch it and give us your thoughts on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once you comment that, if you're subscribed and we're able to see if your privacy settings allow us to see that you're subscribed to our channel, like you're entered to the giveaway. And guess what? Nobody does it. Out of all our 60 subscribers, 61 subscribers.
What's hilarious is that like we'll even do giveaways to the people that like are giving negative feedback. I don't need you to say good things about us. I don't care. Yeah. So our video on Mishuko Tensei, the anime that has like 20 something comments, nobody is subscribed and has their privacy settings to where we can verify your subscriptions. Correct. So I can't see if anybody's actually subscribed or not.
Yeah.
There's like 10, 12 people that in what's before September, in August could have won our giveaway.
Correct. And yeah, so either you can do that or whatever your platform or podcast streaming service application you use. If you leave a rating there or a comment there, and then somehow letting us know that you are that person, then you're also entered to the giveaway.
Right. So what Aldo's talking about is if you give a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, what am I thinking of? The one that's like a radio station, Pandora, and you leave a
iHeartRadio. We're in there too.
iHeartRadio,
a lot of places.
a bunch of them. Tuned in. I don't even know what else. But like, if you leave a positive written review and then email us at betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com, letting us know that 5-star written review was you, then you can also be entered into our giveaway.
There's also some shorts on YouTube.
YouTube Shorts.
Yeah,
we love YouTube Shorts.
We love YouTube Shorts. I sent Drew a bunch of YouTube Shorts all the time. We laugh about them.
YouTube, please sponsor us.
Yeah, and we're talking about. We're 17 minutes in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now we can say bad words. We're 17 minutes in.
Just in time to talk about 8686.
Yeah, 8686. Before Aldo starts ragging on it, I do want to go over a couple things. Like, I wasn't lying. It really is one of the most popular anime in circulation. I mean, light novels in circulation right now. The author's pen name is Asoto, full name Toru Asakura. The pen name Asoto is a combination of her real name and 8888 in Japanese. She is a recipient of a couple of awards. She won the Rookie Award in Kodakawa Beans Bonko in 2014, and she won she won the 21st Dengeki Novel Prize in 2014 as well. Mm-hmm. And this is like her first big push into like mainstream production. 8686 is
A1 Animation.
A1 Pictures. A1 Pictures owns Cloverworks. We love Cloverworks. A1 Pictures has done like literally almost everything on the sun. Things you like. It's such a big company that it's like Disney. You know what I mean? Like you don't even know what they've made at that point. Like
you throw a rock at the animation industry and you'll hit like 3 A1s animations.
Like just in the next year, they're gonna be producing 2 anime that I'm really excited for. The Nier Automata anime production. I was talking about the video game Nonstop earlier this year. Nier Automata, the RPG for the PS4. Yeah. They're making Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is one. I don't think it's a manga. I think it's a manhwa, like the Korean ones. And it's that one's doing numbers. One of our friend that was on the first like 4 or 5 episodes of Between Nerds podcast, Lloyd Parker, way back when. I remember before he initially moved to Austin, he was talking about Solo Leveling the first few volumes a lot. But like I don't know. I don't know why I didn't listen, but like apparently he was onto something. It's really popular. They've also A1 Pictures was one of the co-producers for Darling in the Franxx. They do all the Fate series spin-offs, the 7 Deadly Sins, and the list goes on and on and on. Right. So,
yes,
really esteemed production company. The anime for 8686 was produced in 2 cores. It's 23 episodes. It is the first lead production product of Toshimasa Ishii. He did a lot of the best episodes for The Promised Neverland.
The frame compositions.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in charge of frame compositions and imagery or scenery or some stuff like that, but like a lot of big shots, beautiful shots too.
Yeah, Erased, Sword Art Online. So what I'm trying to get across is like 8686, the anime. I'm only talking about the anime. We're only talking about the anime this week. Has all like the ingredients to be solid. Like it like young talent, young talented sourced material, a big name production company.
And sorry to interrupt, but you in good heart, you lobbied this to me again this past week,
right?
Because you were like, "Hey, I want to watch this." Because I really want to know if I should get the books or not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited because I hadn't heard anything about it even before you brought it up. But,
right.
like, I never heard anything about, like, 8686 is the cool thing. 8686
like, 8686 finished this year.
Yeah.
Like, the second core finished, like, 6 months ago.
Wow. And, like, when I finished watching it, and I'm doing my homework on it, just like you're doing, like right now.
Yeah.
Like you try to look who was involved, and everybody's involved. Everybody's involved. And
the music producer is actually like a pretty big name. It is.
But it's used a lot.
It's the same handful. I think the intro song for the first core is solid. It's tight. I don't think I skipped it once.
And this is not the first time seeing this. We saw Bubble. Remember Bubble?
Yes.
Everybody on deck.
Yeah.
Everybody was on
deck. All this talent. Yeah. Like, it's it felt like a big Hollywood production.
But still, we're not... I mean, we are saying the Bubble was bad.
It wasn't bad. We said it was like a 4 or 5. Like, it's mid. It's mid. You can say it's mid.
It's low end of the mid.
yeah. Like a 4 or 5. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, like, but this... I don't know. I feel guilty not liking it. Because it has no reason not to be liked. Nerds, this is our opinion. We are professionals, but like this is our opinion. This is not like to please you in any some way.
I would love to actually get feedback and know what I'm missing.
Exactly.
Because, like, I literally feel like by the time I was on episode, like, 14, 15, I was like, what the fuck has happened for 14 episodes? Like, besides, like, the premise of the show, I couldn't tell you beat plots, which is maybe a good thing because maybe me and you, when we talk about things, go into beat plots we go into too much detail and we get lost in it and we're just lost in sauce and we end up with a 5-hour episode.
Yeah, and to me, It tries to be violent Evergarden, like, so much. at points.
I didn't think Violet Evergarden. I was thinking
failed Violet Evergarden.
Not to be weird, but I was thinking about you because like it reminded me of the hate in your heart that you feel for Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Oh yes.
Like in my heart, like it reminded me so much of a Code Geass ripoff. And I love Code Geass, but like when we watched the episode, when we recorded on it, I like didn't have a defense for like a lot of Code Geass's issues. I was just like, I don't know, dude. I watched it when I was 16 and I thought it was cool. Don't yell at me.
I yelled at you.
And you yelled at me. And then I'm watching 86. I'm like, this is like everything Aldo was complaining about again. And I'm just like, it reminds me of it reminds me of the first half of Darling in the Franxx. Like the good part of Darling in the Franxx.
The good part of Darling in the Franxx.
It's like it's a lot of character interactions and every episode's the same. Like there's no difference in episodes.
And this fucking like needle in the ear of like this pacing, like it just feels like I'm watching like a long distance relationship of a soldier and a wife, like for 10 episodes.
Except it's strangers, so it's cringier. It's just like, oh Jesus Christ! Like,
was that book Dear John?
I've never read Dear John.
Oh, no, or a movie?
Saving Private Ryan.
No, not Saving Private Ryan. It's like something corny.
The one with the handsome guy from Drive. What was the first movie he was in?
Ryan Gosling?
Yeah. What was the first movie he was in?
No, I think it might have been with Channing Tatum.
Oh, then I have no idea. Honestly, I think the only Channing Tatum movie I've ever seen, like, ever.
But it's like a song between, like, writing, like, letters to each other.
It reminded me of Tanya the Evil. I've got, like, Volume 4 of Tanya the Evil sitting up here on my bookshelf, too. Because the premise is, I think, like, almost exactly like Tanya the Evil. Like, it's make-believe, fake World War II, except in Tanya the Evil it was like there's a fantasy mechanic, but in this one it's like more of a sci-fi mechanic.
It's a mecha anime.
Yeah, so then it's got like pieces of Gundam, and again that reminded me of Code Geass, because Code Geass has a little bit of that Gundam-ish feel sometimes.
And then when there is action, the designs for like the mechas in here, like they're really cool.
I think the animation looks like shit with the mechas. I think it looks absolute dog shit.
But like the actual like design of it, like that
spiders,
the spidery.
There's like little roach looking ones. There's like centipede looking ones.
I think it's really fun.
And they're all robots.
But it's all in CGI. It's all in CGI.
Which, like, I understand why. And, like, I'm not saying the CGI was a bad decision. It's just, it has that cheap CGI, like, 90s water, non-blended in pastel-looking color to it.
Yeah, it just feels like the background, what it is being animated and drawn, it looks very dull compared to like the animation color palette of the mechas, so it just looks off space.
You're right. Like it doesn't. It's hard to like focus on the CGI because it's like the forefront looks like a PS3 game, and then the background just looks like regular anime bullshit.
But it looks good.
And then the camera frame is like too close to like, so you don't focus on how like much shitty CGI is on screen. But then it makes it harder to watch. Like I really feel like the action scenes really watch you to feel like, oh wow, explosion, sword fight with a robot, but like I never was actually impressed with it.
And just to give you guys some context, we're following a Alba cat human race species. Or so they believe.
Yeah.
You know, like Albas are gray-haired, gray-eyed people who are in control of a city, and then that city militarizes people outside that city who are not gray hair and gray-eye color people.
Right.
So we're following. What's
her
name?
So it's
Lena.
No. Yeah, Lena.
Lena is
spelled like Lena.
Lena, like Lena is It's a young major.
She's 16.
Yeah,
she's 16, a major in the army. Her family lineage, like her dad was a general, her uncle's a general. Like she comes from like a military background when it comes to like this Republic of San Magnolia, and like so like just in the beginning, like just
it serves you injustice.
Yes, I felt like I knew too much off like a little bit because like just you've watched any piece of media period, like it's clear they're making fun of like Nazis and like early 20th century fascism, right? Like it's like you have a republic that is composed of one singular race and they think they're perfect and that they're smart and everyone else is expendable. So they use minorities within their own borders to like commit war crimes on their behalf, to include child soldiers and stuff like that.
And we were talking about this off mic. Like, the anime has the elements of like a good storytelling, storyboarding. But the anime, I'm telling you nerds, for 11 episodes is just a back and forth with some mellow-nice music on the background about Lena
learning that people are people.
Learning that people are people, because she's the only one defending them, because this war that we're fighting with mechas, it's being the propaganda being spread around the world is like, oh, this is an ethical war because nobody's dying, but there's actually people in the robots.
Right. So like the Republic of San Magnolia receded when an opposing nation developed like automated like robots that are drones, essentially, like big, like 100-ton spider drones with cannons and swords on them. And because they're like, they created an AI to try to fight this war for them. The AI like overtook them. So now all of the rest of like the surrounding nations are having to fight this AI problem that this other dead country made, right? So the Republic of San Magnolia receded and behind a walled barrier, made 85 sections of their country, but the 86th section, as in 86, is where they left the minorities. They kicked people out of their home designation and kicked them in the most dangerous part of like the battlefront, and that's what Aldo was talking about. Like when the Republic of San Magnolia tells their populace, like, oh, it's an ethical war, we're not sending anybody to die, it's because they're saying that the minorities, the 86, the people that are living outside of the wall, and it reminds me of Attack on Titan a little bit because of that. Yeah. The people outside of the wall aren't really people, so it's okay if they die. Like the average person, if I'm a fucking shoemaker in San Magnolia capital, I don't know that there's actual child soldiers inside of like these other spider robots fighting bigger spider robots on the battlefield. So when you're talking about Lena, I
think it's Lena.
Whatever. Yeah. like she gets in trouble and actively demoted halfway through the season because she keeps expending military resources to save 86 on the battlefield.
Correct. And what follows next is a crazy mixture of a lot of characters.
Yeah.
That do not fuck anything in the air for anybody. Like they're nothing, dude.
Like in the very beginning, you're introduced to like this shed on the outskirts near the battlefield that are R86, right? So Lena doesn't actually meet any of them until like the second to last or the last episode, depending on how you want to think about it. Because all she does is jacks in from the capital via like some kind of neural net. And just like she can share their vision, she can hear what they're talking about, and we meet like 20 16-year-old child soldiers with the expectation from the beginning that they're gonna die. So in like us as an audience, that it really wants to be like, oh, children are dying, but like I feel like they're all so forgettable, or none of them have enough screen time. There's almost so many characters at the front, and they never get like a backstory or get fleshed out. Because like when we talk about Demon Slayer, we talk about Fate, or we talk about, what did we talk about last week? Why am I forgetting?
last week.
Yeah, last week. What was it?
Ranking of Kings.
Ranking of Kings. Everyone gets a backstory. Like, I give a shit about every single character, and that's when we had CJ and we're talking about it. And it was like, it's actively almost annoying to try to talk to it in a time frame, because it's like, dude, everybody has something going on. Everybody's has their motivations like spread out in an episode. I'm given like 30 characters, like 10 Republic of San Magnolia people, 2086, all in the beginning, and none of them get a backstory except for like maybe just Sheen. Like just maybe Sheen, and that's about it. Like maybe it's different if you read the light novels, because I feel like I went on YouTube and like I was like, I'm missing something. Like, what the fuck am I missing? And like all the YouTube videos are ranting and raving about, oh, this is the best adaptation ever, blah 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 blah. Like, it feels like, I could be wrong. So again, like, comment on this YouTube video if I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong and understand what the fuck's going on, because like it feels like the books are maybe a lot more detailed and actually go into the people interactions and actually have backstories or something, to the point that the anime felt like it could just coast and just like fan service. Like, isn't this cool that these characters are talking? Look, it's them bathing in the lake. Isn't that so interesting? Like,
and like you said earlier, like when it comes to the how the anime is just directed, it feels like they expect you to know what's going on already.
Yeah. Like,
so you're watching, and I bet it is. I bet it's awesome. I bet if you know what's going on, I bet you're looking at this like, you know, like just references.
oh, it's the thing. Yeah. It's like when I go see a fucking Marvel movie with Karen, just like, oh, babe, pay attention. Look.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. She's just like, what do you mean? It's Captain America. What's going on?
Yeah. So, and then the story is so like draggy, and I bet like this is where there is also some left back in the novel kind of thing. I bet like the dialogue is more intense.
Right.
Because the dialogue right here is just like, oh my god, and you guys are just there. And
you all are 16-year-olds too, and you're out on the battlefield, and you're not worried?
I know you guys are people, but I'm gonna call you 86, even though that's like a derogatory term for you guys. Right.
So it's also like a meta commentary on how like air quotes woke people that claim to be non-racist are actually veiledly racist. It's like, you know what it reminded me of when I was thinking about like trying to describe that?
Chinitos, like Asian people chinitos.
I was thinking about white people saying the term Latinx as inclusive language.
Yeah.
Because like the term Latinx is it's Anglicizing a Spanish term. The term Latino is inclusive already. It means, well, you speak Spanish. Like it could be feminine or masculine. Like that's the point of that term.
Like Latino is not an American word. That's a Latino.
This isn't like some he, him, she, her kind of shit. Like Latino is supposed to be an inclusive term. So you saying the term Latinx to fit your Anglicized sensibilities is in itself bigoted, because you're expecting another culture to adhere to your notions of inclusiveness when you're excluding them from the conversation.
And super side tangent, but like I feel like a lot of viewers do not take responsibility for viewing something that they know they're gonna be offended by.
Okay, what do you mean?
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like I know the like the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff.
Jesus.
Like the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're getting sued by the families because
Yes.
they use the names and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, that is fucked up. But like people are still gonna watch it because they don't know, or they just like are gonna watch it just besides that because it's already a media.
Right.
It's made. So it's like I guess what I'm saying is like the responsibility to click on it.
Right.
You know. And I feel like a lot of things, because of this like super woke sensitivities, I guess.
Okay.
Like wanna do shit like Latinx and stuff like that.
And honestly, like I only hear that term when I'm at like conferences with a bunch of white people, like out in the middle of nowhere. So like no one in El Paso would ever say that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's super weird. Like if you were to go around El Paso saying the term "Hello, fellow Latinx people," like what are you talking about? But God, like the point we were trying to make is that's how Lena speaks at first, because she's like, I care about the 86. They're people to me. They're not just random battlefield people. It's just, and they call her out at a certain point halfway through like Core 1, and they're like, dude, you have been calling us by our call signs this entire time. You still refer to us as 86 as opposed to native. What was their actual like term for their ethnicity? You said earlier.
Albas.
Albas, like they're Albas. We're not 86. We're like, oh no, Albas are the white people.
Yeah, Albas are the white ones, but the 86 are part of the.
Well, whatever. They're minorities from a different portion, but just calling them 86 like takes away their actual like their identity. Yeah. And then so when she calls out on
calling them Mexican, you're like, hey, Spix.
Jesus, Jesus,
You know what I'm saying? I'm not calling my boy Spitz.
It's like calling like I don't know, a Mexican or Puerto Rican or something. What do you mean? You're both brown and speak Spanish. What's the issue? So there's an issue.
What part of Mexico is Puerto Rico?
It's like that King of the Hill skit. It's just like, are you Chinese or Japanese? Ya Laotian.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm Laotian.
Is that Chinese or Japanese? It's like, no, there's like a lot more to Asia. Like, you don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like that, like a generalized term for like lazy people that don't want to actually like, they don't care if they're ignorant or not. Like they're not gonna expend that mental fortitude to actually like name somebody properly.
Yeah, and when I talk about like how you said that is directed in a way that you're already supposed to know, is because there is a lot of imagery that it's there for a while, and you don't really know what the fuck is going on, because there's a lot of imagery on like the mechas and like people being called pigs.
Yeah.
And people.
Yeah, they call the imperialists the pig. They call the people with the silver hair the pigs. Like.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it has all the elements for me to like it, but I don't know why I don't like it. I had such a terrible week.
There's like a flashback about like kind of like the beginning of the Holocaust a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like the main 86 we follow, his name is Sheen, right? He goes by the Grim Reaper. He's the leader of this like troop. The
spearheads.
Yeah, of the spearhead troop, and like he's the one usually talking with I almost called her Eris. What's her name?
Lena.
With Lena, and he has a power that's broken and it's never explained, which is kind of really annoying too. Like it goes so much, it tries so hard to like over explain like the fascism, but then like there's fantasy sci-fi components that are also never explained, and I'm like, okay, but what? Like, so basically, the Legion, the evil robot AI country that I was discussing earlier, is entirely composed of like so when the Legion overtakes a country or troop, they don't kill the operators inside, and they leave them alive enough to hook them into the Matrix essentially, and turn them into other spider robots to keep expanding out.
The old NGE smoothie.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of pieces of NGE in here too. It feels kind of NGE. Yeah. And like, Sheen has this power where just because he's killed so many Legion, he can now hear the pain and the anguish and like the inner voices of the Legion operators.
Well, Sheen, the reason it's a big deal at the beginning too, and they never touch back on exactly what the fuck is gonna happen, but the driver of the Undertaker, what was it? What was the name? The code name for the Grim Reaper?
The Undertaker, no?
Undertaker?
Yeah.
And they say that everybody who drives that, you're gonna go insane or something like that.
Oh, no. Whoever leads the Spearhead Squadron troop, all the so the operators are the 86, and then or do I have it backwards? The
handlers.
The handlers, thank you.
Got it.
So Lena is the operator, and all of
Lena's a handler.
All the handlers of the Spearhead Squadron operators all end up going crazy, saying that they're hearing voices. So when I was talking about this neural link earlier,
that's what I wanted to
that the Republic of San Magnolia uses, because Sheen is so connected to like the Legion network, which again, it's never explained. Like he just can hear the voices of the people in the Matrix because of the Legion, that he knows when they're on the move. Like even before Lena calls them for a mission, be like, "Oh, the Legion's on the move, suit up." They're already ready because he's like, "I heard them 30 minutes ago." Mm-hmm. So because they're hooked up with that neural link, when he's in the middle of battle, if their handler is too involved or like is hooking up, is neural linking with them too often, they go crazy because they hear the voices of the Legion. And then that's why they have several people that have committed suicide and stuff like that. And again, like that whole voice thing is like super, super important in the first core. And like, it's this, like, that's the story arc in the first half of the anime, is that like, will Lena go crazy? Will she not go crazy? But she's so empathetic and she cares that they're people. So she's going to keep hooking up and she doesn't want them to fight alone. And she can't let these other 16-year-old child soldiers die on the battlefield just because she was born of a better race. It's so like it's oh god, I'm not invested in these characters. I don't care. Like I don't care. Like
either like the dialogue is so, and I don't want to. I feel like intensive is wrong because it's not intense, but like it's just like slow conversation about feelings.
It wants to be intense because every episode for like 11 episodes has the exact same beat points. It's like you're watching like an episode of King of the Hill again. Like it starts, we get some fake dialogue from Lena that's like, "Oh, how am I going to actually learn to be a better human being today and fight fascism from the inside?" And then humanizes the 86. And then they head out to the battlefield, and then another operator dies, and then we mourn that operator, and then we learn that Lena's not a real progressive person because she didn't actually think of them as people. Every episode is like that for like 11 episodes. When I was talking about there's like 86 in the beginning, there's 5 for like the vast majority of the anime. Because like for 10 episodes, we're just watching the rest of them die. Every episode.
And the second part of the season is not even that good either.
Mm-mm.
You know, I didn't care for the robot dog,
Fido.
Yeah, Fido, whatever his name is, because he's a dog but he's a robot. So I don't know. The trope seems to me so cheap.
It's again like a God. I feel like it's in another anime about like a cute robot. It's like Star Wars. It's like R2D2. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of.
I get it. But it was between all the other bullshit. It serves so. Like, I don't want this.
There's like a whole episode about the cat not having a name.
Nothing useless, bro. It feels like that filler episode between like the athletic club or like a beach episode
for like 11 episodes.
For like 11 episodes, dude.
And then like to all this point about the second half. So like at a certain point, they learn like the real goal of San Magnolia. That's like they tell the 86 like go serve a term for like a year and a half or 6 months, or they keep like pushing the date back, right? Because San Magnolia, not thinking of the 86 as people, want them to die on the battlefield. They actively want them to die on the battlefield so that they cannot gain citizenship within the Republic of San Magnolia. So once Lena learns that, the 5 remaining 86 just kind of go on a suicide mission. Just go accept that they're gonna die. And Lena like overtakes like military surface rockets, like an airstrike, and she gets people in trouble, and that's why she gets demoted. But then they live, and like there's like 5 fakes where this main group of 586, it really wants you to believe that they're gonna die for like 13 episodes, and it never happens. Like we went from somebody dying every episode for 11 episodes to 13 episodes where nobody dies, and we only have 5 characters left.
And in between this, we're getting like episodes. We're getting also served with like this Shane like half plot of him redeeming his brother's like consciousness, because his brother's consciousness was taken by and being used in one of the opposed mechas
in the Legion.
So he pretty much like kills his brother.
Yeah, his last memory of his brother is that the brother kind of like assaulted him and like left like choking marks around his neck and like kind of almost strangled him, because the brother was so livid that their family was dying because they were 86, and like Sheen still didn't realize that like the 86 were going into battle to just die,
and that's why he was quiet and mysterious.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm so glad you finally brought that up. Like, Sheen is just like, Shine is just like my least favorite anime character. Like, it's like why I hate Tokyo Ghoul, the anime at least. I never read the manga, but like, I hate that nerd write in that's just like, oh, I'm a quiet, mysterious, brooding person, but I'm actually super smart and cunning, and if the girl just got to know me a little bit, then maybe she'd want to know me because I'm really the coolest, smartest, most interesting guy on earth. And like, I hate that character so fucking much because it's just write-ins for fucking dorks that have never actually like touched grass and interacted with another person before.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I'm telling you, I had such a bad week because I'm watching it. Dude, I just feel like, you know, I want to go play with my son. Like, I want
to go play Cyberpunk.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hang out and watch a movie with V or something. And it's rare that happened. Probably the last time it happened was a Digimon, but like Digimon wasn't even that bad compared to this.
We knew it was gonna be kind of bad though. We went into Digimon being like,
yeah, but still, like, I guess I'll take like a. Never mind. It's because never mind. I'm not gonna say that because I know it's good, but I wish I knew what was going on in the novels.
I just think it really missed out on like the personal interactions because like I don't care about anything because like the narrative shift once they go on the suicide mission and they don't die. What they're doing is they're just traveling like west for like forever and they don't die from the Legion. Sheen kills his brother, and then they find a whole nother republic and they essentially just reset the narrative from Core 1 into Core 2. Like, they find a new republic, and they turn into child soldiers for this new republic, but this new republic actually has morals, and they bring up all the time, it's like, we can't send child soldiers out there, but at the same time, it's like, but they're just 86, so just send them the fuck out there to die. Who gives a shit?
And Lena gets demoted.
Yeah, and Lena gets demoted, and we kind of don't see her like the whole second core, and it's just her like being the most successful handler. So like, even though she gets demoted, it's like you can't fire me. Like I'm the one out here fighting the Legion on your behalf. What the fuck? And then out of nowhere, out of just like there's a little lolly introduced, and she's got another superpower. She's the old princess of the old empire that made the Legion. So like her old knight that was sworn to her when she was like 3 years old before like the actual overtaking of the Legion, like has sworn to protect her forever, and he loves her so much, and he's never gonna forget her. But now he's like the main military grade cannon for the Legion. So then we get this whole like 8 episodes being like, oh, we can't go kill my prince, but we gotta go kill my prince. But like now that we're lieutenants in this new republic, we're so talented and nobody respects us, and everyone's still racist because we're so talented and just assumes that we're demonic child soldiers, but they still gotta use us as weapons of war. And it's just the same thing again. It's literally the same plot again.
And it ends.
And then it just ends. And then it just ends. Like, Lena just, like, appears, like, on the battlefield, and then we learn that the Republic of San Magnolia died because the lesson you're supposed to take is they lost from their own hubris, right? Because, like, what I was describing earlier, it's like Attack on Titan. They secluded themselves on the other side of the wall, and as long as they were doing whatever bullshit on the outside, they just assumed they were protected on the inside. It would never happen. And then off-screen, the whole Republic of San Magnolia is just taken over, including the capital. And like, there's like this one scene at like the end of every episode where I'm talking about the end of every episode is like Lena in her apartment being like, wow, people are people, and like looking at like their names or their pictures and actually like learning something about humanity. To where the very last episode, there's that same scene in her apartment, like profiled to have the sunset over like the window behind her, but now it's just all rubble because the Republic of San Magnolia got destroyed because their own hubris kind of outdid themselves. And like, if only they'd realized that people are people and mobilized everybody and treated everyone equally, then this never would have happened.
Pretty exhausting.
Oh my god, it's just all cliches, like, and it feels like the best cliches. I don't hate anime cliches. I watch anime. Anime's all cliches all the time.
And like, I don't know what else to say.
And their shadows lightly touch hands in the last 2 seconds. Oh, yeah. And I'm supposed to give a shit. So they didn't see each other the whole time, right? If the 86 were on the battlefield and Lena's in the Republic, just like on comms, just telling them what to do, they're supposed to be hundreds of miles apart. But then at the very end, of course Lena's on the battlefield because she cares so much and wants to protect people on the battlefield. And then she finally meets Sheen, and they're like, oh, you're that bitch. Oh, you're that boy. Oh, I've been running with what your genitals feel like. Oh, I was wondering what your genitals feel like. And then the last 2 seconds, they lightly touch hands. End of season. Bum, bum, bum. Like, bum, bum, bum. Fuck me, bro. Like and then there's like a whole subplot where like the prime minister of the new country adopts them, and then they learn like hobbies, and so like one of them turns into a mechanic. There's an artist. Sheen wants to turn into a cook. This one bitch wants to go shopping, and then there's like a super annoying like anime generic plot that there's like a friend sister kind of character, like a friend zoned girl of Sheen that's like madly in love with him, and all the other 86 know it, but Sheen falls in love with what's her face, and it's just like, why does he want to hook up with that white haired pig, blah 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 blah, and then that still just doesn't go anywhere, so she's just like permanently friend zoned.
And yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say about it.
Nah, me neither.
Do you? I mean,
nah. I just like to apologize, Aldo. I've been collecting light novels since like late August, right? Which is why I've got Mushoku Tensei Volume 8, right? Because it took me 60 days to get this volume. Like all the Mushoku Tensei volumes are like super on back order. And like because I've been buying so many light novels, and I've actually been like actively working my way through them and reading like manga volumes and stuff like that. Like I bought Tanya the Evil because I know Tanya the Evil is good. Like I bought Mushoku Tensei because I know Mushoku Tensei is good. So like I wanted to make sure before I started investing in 86 novels that it was good. But it's like I was telling you yesterday. Although I'm disappointed with my week, I'm glad that we watched the anime instead of me spending time reading the light novels. Mm-hmm. Like that might be mean, but like it's.
I will never get my back time either from watching the anime.
I guess it's just not my cup of tea.
No, it is not. It's not our cup of tea. And it has all the elements to be our cup of tea.
Yeah.
But it's just executed, at least for us, at least for me, it is executed very weirdly.
Yeah. Anyways, you're better off not watching this one. I do not recommend it. I'm looking at your timer. We're maybe after a few cuts, maybe like around 40 minutes on this. So
yeah.
So I think we're gonna cut the body of this episode right here, and we haven't had a nerd down in like 2-3 weeks. So I think we're just gonna just talk off the dome and riff a little bit. So you want to do the nerd down? Nerd down.
Nerd down.
Damn, we're in the nerd down.
Well, nerd down where nerds get down.
We're in the nerd down, and God, that was a terrible week. But if you are only tuning in with us right now at the nerd down, and you skip throughout the whole shitty video that we talk about, I mean the shitty anime that we talk about. We are here in the nerd down. We haven't had a nerd down in forever. We've been busy. We were just at Jacob's wedding. Congratulations to the Mr. and Mrs. Mendeville.
Right.
It was a fun time. We got to see all the friends.
Jacob Mendeville was on our discussion Fire Force.
Yes, because he's a fireman.
Because he's a fireman. He hit us up during his bachelor party, a week and a half ago already. Because we were talking about the Interstellar 6666, the Daft Punk anime, and he had never heard of it before, and he was like, I like Daft Punk, like just put me on the podcast in 2 weeks. So like Jacob Mendeville, newly married, will be on the podcast in 2-3 weeks or so.
Correct. Because next week we are talking about Odd Taxi movie, which I'm excited for.
Odd Taxi in the Woods.
In the Woods. We really loved Odd Taxi. If you haven't listened to our Odd Taxi episode, go ahead and listen. And I don't know if you noticed YouTube, but we got better at audio too. Yeah,
our audio is way better. It's less fuzzy, less busy sounding. I think it sounds a lot more professional.
Yeah.
Our podcast audio has been a hit for a minute, but talk about Odd Taxi in the Woods for a minute. Odd Taxi as a whole has kind of fallen under the radar. It's kind of like the sleeper hit of 2021. Mm-hmm. It's your anime creator's favorite anime. It's like a mature storytelling, not mature as in like what it's talking about, but it feels like very polished. It's very like it's like it doesn't, like I'm talking about cliches earlier in the 86 discussion. It's like kind of not a lot of cliches. It feels fresh, it feels new, but it also feels very like refined and like done correctly the first time.
I think in the realm of trying to do your your own Cowboy Bebop, trying to do your own NG, trying to do your own Mushoku Tensei, because it's such a bomber. I don't think anybody can remake that. But anyways, in the same umbrella as that, I believe that there is anime stories that are able to be retold better, or maybe in a different way, such as like, because I see Off Taxi as being a Perfect Blue, a story of Perfect Blue almost. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a meta commentary on like modern society without like it needing to be like I think your analogy for Perfect Blue is really good, because Perfect Blue is a story about like the entertainment industry in Japan in the 90s being really cutthroat and like basically not caring about like young girls' mental health and like
just like young actors and all.
Yeah, and like. It kind of reminds me of that Quentin Tarantino movie about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a little bit, like picking on like how kind of just shitty like big production is after a while, and in Perfect Blue it's making fun of like pop idols and stuff like that. Odd Taxi is again about pop idols, but in like a modern setting a little bit, but it's told from the perspective of like a fucking cab driver.
Correct.
It's a murder mystery. It's like it's a lot of things.
And I feel like I feel like that topic, because you don't want to redo NGE because you're never gonna do it as weird or as good as NGE was.
Right.
You don't want to redo Cowboy Bebop, even as music driven it was. You're not gonna get that good unless you get a good popping band to base your episodes on.
Right.
But like it almost reminds me of Agretsuko too.
Yeah, I was thinking of Agretsuko too. Yeah.
Taxi, and it's so nice and crisp, and the animation's awesome, and like the background is fuzzy and weird and always in movement because it's so grainy. And yeah, it's nice. It's like
it's a bunch of it's a lot. Yeah, it's noirish. It's a lot of like micro stories, because like. If it's a murder mystery, we're talking about the main series. We haven't watched the movie yet, so like we're just kind of talking on what we remember from the main series. The Odd Taxi, the show, does so much more with like 13 episodes than 86 did with 23 episodes. And each episode is like its own story. It's its own micro story, because if it's talking about like Tokyo downtown on a weekend, the weekend a pop idol died, it's like piecing it together kind of noir. It's like, what was this person doing at this time? How was this other person involved? Oh, I saw that guy at this location at this time. What was his background at that time?
Oh, he has ties to the mob? What?
Yeah, this person has ties to the mob, and then the pop idol group has ties to the mob, and then like...
And the taxi driver had ties to the mob.
And the taxi... Yeah, exactly. So like, we loved it. We were enamored with it. It recently got put on Crunchyroll along with another one of our favorites that we're looking forward to, the Made in Abyss. The Made in Abyss season 2
is on Amazon.
No, it got taken off. It's on High Dive now.
Oh, really?
It's on High Dive. High Dive has a couple things I want to watch. They have Made in Abyss season 2, and they have Call of the Night, which like just finished last week, and I really, really want to watch Call of the Night. It's about vampires, and again, in the middle of the night. It's kind of like Odd Taxi, like what I understand of it, like trying to piece together what
it's a movie or a series?
It's a series,
Okay.
like 13 episodes, trying to figure out what the nightlife is doing. What is the underbelly of Tokyo, of Japanese society, really doing at this time? And it's a little fantasy, it's a little love story.
I have no idea what the movie's going to be about. Odd Taxi.
Me neither. The cliffhanger at the end of Odd Taxi, the series, was
that the pop star
the
killer,
the least conspicuous of the pop star trio, ended up being the murderer.
Correct.
Because she kind of got subbed in like as the third girl when like the main girl died.
Correct.
Because she killed her.
Yeah.
So she's like getting off the phone with nobody, because she's crazy, she's a psychopath, and gets into our main guy's taxi cab. And she's like, hold on, Mom, I gotta go. I just got in my cab. And then she knows that our cab driver knows the outskirts and like is associated with what she did with her crime. So like we assume she's gonna try to cover it up or like silence him, or I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know. Yeah. Looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, looking forward to watching it. Have you kept up with She-Hulk?
Yes. I've seen 100% of She-Hulk. I think this is the first Disney Plus Marvel show that's more than 6 episodes. Mm-hmm. Like I thought 2 weeks ago it was going to end, and then it didn't feel like a finale kind of season. I think it's interesting. I think it's really cool. I'd rather watch it than like the go-to ABC, NBC, like your regular broadcasting bullshit shows.
No,
I would much rather watch She-Hulk than like the generic just like bullshit that they put on TV when sports aren't on. And I think it's funny. I'm invested in the story. I think I don't know. I feel like I've seen much worse, and I can't believe people are so up in arms about it. And I don't want to get into it too much because we talk about it every time we bring up She-Hulk. But like it really is just like a weekly story about a lawyer at the end of the day. Like it's not really all that superhero-y.
And I don't know, me and V had a lot of fun watching it. I thought we were gonna get an episode with action.
I think it's funny
of the cliffhanger, but like it was a good episode. I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny. I thought it was because I was like, "Ooh, Josh is gonna do it. Josh is gonna do it," and then he did it. You know,
I like that they're really like tying in like the fringes of the MCU lore because we had Wong, we had Abomination. Like I feel like a lot of YouTube channels were bitching about this. Like, what the fuck happened to Abomination? Like that was supposed to be like. If that movie is still canon, which like the MCU has said several times it is, like where the fuck was Abomination for like the 12 years that he was just missing from the MCU, and he was just in prison, and then we get his backstory, and it's funny how they reintroduce him. I'm really digging Andor. I'm sorry, I know you didn't watch it, but I think
the first episode, man.
Andor is tight, bro. It's because like they released the first 3 episodes at once because you're supposed to watch them in one sitting.
Well, the first episode, what got me was like him going to like a sex service kind of bar.
Yeah, it's a brothel.
Him going, brothel. That's what I was thinking. Brothel, and like him killing 2 people.
Yeah, I don't think we like it. It was kind of like morbid, like really early for a Star Wars franchise, for a Disney-owned Star Wars piece of media. It's.
Sorry, because he's looking for his sister because she's being human trafficked? Yeah,
into sex slavery. Like, it's very mature. It's very, very mature.
Yeah, it's wild.
For a Star Wars show. Like, I don't think out of the main, like, canon right now, this might be the most mature piece of media we have.
Like, Mando Season 1, you thought that was, like,
it's cause
gritty enough for Disney.
It's because Mando 1 has, like, fringes of, like, he's in the slums, you know what I mean? There's drug usage, we're killing of mercenaries, but this is really just, like, we're poor, the Empire's, like, crushing us, like, under the weight of fascism, and we just want to get by, and you just, like, accidentally stumble into it. Like, you just stumble into crime. Like, it felt like the intro to, like, a mob show, almost. Like... It felt like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like you know what I mean, like like guy with seemingly good intentions just wants to find his sister, but he's just broke and like trying to protect himself accidentally kills 2 Imperial like guard officers, and now he's on the run from the law, and that's the show. And that's because, and like, I like it a lot because, like, I remember this actor when he was announced for Rogue One way back when. It was a huge deal. It was a ginormous deal, and I never understood why.
He's a great actor, dude. He's a great Mexican actor.
He's Mexican? I didn't notice.
He has a lot. He has a lot of good movies, man.
What else is he in?
He's Y Tu Mamá También.
That's him.
That's him. Dude.
Oh, I didn't know that. I love that movie.
Yeah, and then he's in Amores Perros.
I love those movies.
Yeah.
So Y Tu Mamá También is like the pinnacle of like Mexican cinema as far as I'm concerned. As far like this is from nobody, right? But like it's my favorite piece of Mexican cinema. It's a multi-pronged story put together in 3 pieces to describe like an afternoon. And it's just how, and again, it's like the same story I just described. It's like how dysfunctional like Mexican society is, and like the crushing weight of like the government and expectations, and like living on the outskirts of the law, like with and still having the best intentions, just fucks you. Like, it just fucks you. Like, the world just is just cruel and terrible, and you can go into your day with the best expectations, expecting to be the best person, and, like, you still just get fucked. And, like, wow, it's like the same story now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, he's in Tu Mamá También, The Book of Life.
What's his name?
Diego Luna.
Okay.
Diego Luna y Tu Mamá También.
Wow, yeah, I love that movie. I love that movie so much.
Same dude. That's Diego Luna, and then that's Gael Garcia. This bitch is also cool.
Yeah.
But it just feels awesome. It feels amazing.
Yeah.
To see well represented Mexican.
Yeah.
In the world of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it a lot so far. I still haven't finished the first 2 episodes of the Lord of the Rings show, The Rings of Power. I don't know. It's a lot different. It's a slow burn, right? So like, I'm religiously into House of the Dragon right now. Like, I watch every episode like the second it comes out, and like House of the Dragon is just like, it's like. It's drama, but it's like political drama where people's actual lives are at stake. Like me making a political power play against Aldo Mendez and like his home and where he lives and his land could actively get him killed. And like there's nothing he could do.
Half of Berserk.
Yes and no, but it's always like that from the beginning, so it feels different because it's kind of like you as an audience knows that everyone's life is up for grabs.
I wish no, honestly, not wish. I am gonna catch up on all these shows because I'm not watching a 24 episode anime like we've been watching.
We're watching movies the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
The next 2 weeks are gonna be easy.
You got some time. Which like I was bringing this up when we planned it out like that. We fucking suck because like we just did like 2 24 episode anime back to back instead of like pacing it out like 24 episode anime and then a movie and then maybe the 24 episode anime. We keep like doubling it up, like we're wasting our time, but whatever. We watch what we want to watch. If anything, there's just not enough time in a week.
Yeah, and like Drew said, we are watching new fucking anime every week. I mean, sometimes new to us, sometimes not. But all your suggestions are gonna be heard. If you guys want us to watch something, just let us know on YouTube or any of our social medias at Between Nerds. Yeah.
It's all at Between Nerds. Again, the email betweennerdpodcast@gmail.com. I've kind of given up on trying to read the first the first novel of the Konosuba side series, An Explosion on This Wonderful World.
Yeah.
The Megumin.
You don't wanna read it?
I finished the first third of the first novel, and I don't think I want to finish it.
Oh no.
Well, number one, so I got like volume 8 of Mishuko Tensei in, so like this is gonna be my priority because I'm like this is the reason why I'm reading light novels. Period is Mishuko Tensei, right? And then the thing about I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not far in enough. Maybe it's because I'm not used to this type of writing. But, like, I love Konosuba because it's hilarious. Like, the animation is so slapsticky. It's so goofy. Like, you're giggling nonstop. Like, beginning to end, every episode, right? I have not laughed once. And I'm, like, a full third into this book. And I'm not interested right now. Maybe I'll get back to it at a certain point. But right now... I'm not feeling it. I'm not. Well, and plus, like, I guess my logic is also like, I'm not gonna force myself to read it when, like, in January, I'm gonna get the anime anyways. So then it's just like, but like Mishuko Tensei, I love it so much. I actually want to like read it at a pace that I beat it before the anime comes out. And I don't know. And then I finished the last chapter of the 4th Haruhi Suzumiya book. Nice. The Wavering of Haruhi Suzumiya, and I think it's really interesting that like the anime completely swapped how the stories were in the light novels, and the way like the Haruhi Suzumiya light novels are is that like they really are micro stories. Like I think the anime did it really well by like making it seem like the micro stories are like a cohesive story that still build on each other, but like. From what I've read of Haruhi Suzumiya so far, it's really supposed to be micro adventures. It's supposed to be like episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, like micro arcs. You know what I mean? So I just read a whole like mini self-contained story about them trapped in a little micro universe inside of a snowstorm in a magical like mansion that just appeared out of nowhere. It's cute. It's cool. It's sweet. There's math in it. Didn't understand all the geometry, but like it was cool. It seems smart. It seems well written. It makes me miss a time where like Haruhi Suzumiya was like the pinnacle of like anime storytelling, but like it also kind of bummed me out because like I feel like we're so far removed from it. I don't have that same like I saw Mishuko Tensei 2 months ago. You know what I mean? Like I still have like this weird like obsession with Mishuko Tensei. So I'm just at a different time right now. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
good shit. It's good animation. No, yeah.
And Mishugo Tensei is cool, I think, because like you really are watching somebody with an entire memory of a whole previous life, still just being human. Like you always assume like, oh, if I had a time machine, I'd go back and correct this mistake, that mistake, this mistake, and I'd be so much better off right now. But like humans are like just prone to making mistakes and making snap judgments and yeah, and we all self-sabotage. And like Mushoku Tensei is like the most, it's not, I almost said like the most mature like isekai, but that's not entirely true. It just feels like the most like, how would somebody really behave in like a different universe while trapped in another universe? If that's how Mushoku Tensei kind of feels.
Yeah, no, it's really good. We both watched Barbarian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now we can talk about it.
We can talk about Barbarian. So Barbarian is the sleeper horror hit of 2022.
A24, correct?
I don't think so. I didn't see it.
None? Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken it because every single horror movie nowadays is A24.
Right.
But it's really good. It's very weirdly paced.
Yeah, which is cool. It's interesting because it's like a different form of storytelling. Regency Enterprises. No idea who that is.
I have no idea.
That's who it is.
But Justin Long is in it. So, we know that it's going to be a weird movie.
Yeah.
But, the beginning, it's about a girl that rents out a Airbnb in, like, super locked out Detroit hood.
And then there's a white guy inside. Ooh, scary. There's a white guy inside your Airbnb. Scary.
And there's the guy that plays It in the recent It movies.
Oh, shut the fuck up. That's him? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we are being...
Bill Skarsgård?
Yes. He's part of
Swedish?
a actor family. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's done really good stuff. Sorry, that was my chair. But so we are led to believe and led to it's baiting us on what we know about scary movies.
Yeah,
the entire time.
Right, because it's supposed, it's gonna be kind of slashery, and the main character's a girl, and like it's scary because like girls are more vulnerable than like guys are. You know what I mean? That's not like it's scarier to be a woman, like especially like if you're in like an Airbnb trying to check into a weird city by yourself.
Yeah, and Bill Skarsgård is huge.
Yeah,
he's like 6'.
He's like 6'4".
4.
Yeah. So like. When me and Karen saw it this week in Alamo Draft House, like over here on the east side, the theater was basically empty. Like the only other couple was like on the way other side, so we could like whisper to each other a little bit. And she's like, "Ooh, he's gonna kill her." I'm like, "It's too obvious. Like, there's no way." Like, cause like everyone's been talking up this movie. I'm like, "There's no way it's that obvious." Yeah. So like, and it's not. Like, but like. God, like I think what holds it back for me is it really suffers from just being a horror movie, where like every horror movie is just people making dumbass decisions, people like, ooh, scary hallway, I'm gonna go in there. Ooh, a scary door inside of the scary hallway, I'm gonna go in there. Like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm fucking leaving. What are you talking about?
I'm a very reasonable person. I know that down there's a basement. I am gonna go down there to the basement to look for whatever I'm gonna look for. I know it's not gonna be scary. I know it's just dark. I draw the line at basement. Once you find a secret rope that opens a secret room to a room that looks like the restroom from Saw 1.
Yes, exactly.
And you're like,
and there's an old VHS fucking camera on a tripod there.
First thing I would have done was break that basement window, get out of there, and not go back.
Right, so I guess like the thing is like, ooh, the house is really old and the doors kind of close and lock on themselves. Woo! But like but then it kind of has like the
because there's this moment in the movie where the character that I think it was Keith.
Keith.
The name of Bill Skarsgård. Or whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Don't be mad. They go to sleep in this whole convoluted conversation about like, oh, you can sleep in the room. It's okay. I can sleep out here.
Like he's
Don't worry,
he's a gentleman.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. But like,
they double booked the Airbnb because she booked on one website, he booked on another website.
And the context is like the context of scary movies is that is too good to be true for a scary movie.
Yeah.
So now, okay, they have a nice wine cap.
He's a gentleman, being like, you can go in the bedroom because it locks, and I'm a big scary dude. I'll sleep on the couch.
I like the whole thing with like the wine, because they revisit the wine twice. They revisit one time where he serves a cup of water, but like without her seeing her.
It was tea.
Oh, tea. Yeah, correct. Tea. And they revisit the wine because he's up at night. He has a wine bottle. It's like, where you gonna open that? It's like, well, I was gonna ask you if you wanted some, but if you didn't see me open it, I feel like it would be suspicious of me.
Cause like his acting's really good. Cause he acts kind of skittish and like naturally nervous, but like it's still like not entirely comfortable or comforting. So it kind of like off puts the girl a little bit. So when he makes her a cup of tea, she didn't see it. He could have drugged it, so she doesn't drink it all. He's like, oh, I saw you didn't make the tea. I'm not taking any offense. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah. So I'm just like, I want you to see me open this bottle of wine so you know I'm not trying to drug you and do nothing weird.
Correct. So then, to me, I was like, okay, this is going further. This is not the guy. This is not the guy.
Right.
Like, right now, I know this is not the guy. Because they go to sleep and they almost kiss because they've been having such a good conversation because they both like this niche thing. About,
just
like,
indie movies.
Writer.
Yeah.
And
weird documentary movies.
Yeah, and then we go to sleep, but she doesn't lock the door and they revisit the lock twice. When she first gets in there, she locks the door, but when she gets out of the room and goes for the wine and she comes back later, she doesn't lock the door.
Right.
And we think it's like, oh, he's gonna fucking stab her to death. But I knew he wasn't him, but like the door opens mysteriously at night. And,
right.
And it's wild. And I don't know. Then we get Justin Long being like accused of like sexual misconduct in workplace.
Well, the narrative faker talking about like it's in 3 acts distinctly. Like the acts are so distinct that it's cool. It's like really, really fucking cool because like basically like these original Airbnb characters get like locked in the basement and basically get kidnapped by like some crazy titty monster inside of like this tunnel that's like 100 feet underground. So it and it's freaky. It's freaky because like what Aldo's talking about, like the movie.
It's an incest baby.
It's an incest baby. It's a 6'8" fucking titty incest baby. Baby.
I call it
it's like so disgusting. I hate it so much. It like the act ends with us watching Keith get his head caved in on the side of like this cave. It's super gory. It comes out of fucking nowhere. It's scary as fuck. Like I was bugging out, and then it just switches to Justin Long just driving
driving a Porsche, I think.
Yeah, he's driving like an old school like 80s Porsche, like in like I don't know, just on like a beach, like on the side of a beach
area.
Yeah, Malibu area or something like that. And he's getting
Oh no, it was in Detroit. Oh no, this was when he was
Yeah, he was in LA area. Yeah. And then he basically gets kicked off of like the pilot for a show because his co-star is claiming that he sexually assaulted her. So it gets kind of meta about like Hollywood for a second. And I like when Hollywood is like honest about itself, kind of, because like Justin Long's character starts giving like the typical like
his own brother, and his brother's asking like he knows it's true.
It's
weird.
His defense is the typical like 4chan like permanently on the internet, doesn't touch grass dude like perspective. That's kind of like, I'm not gonna fall for this cancel culture. You can't believe shit that woman says. Oh, she wanted it.
But like when he's at the bar with his brother and like the conversation.
No, it was his friend. It was his high school friend.
Wasn't it?
It was in his brother.
Yeah, I thought it was his brother.
It was in his brother.
So.
He goes to Detroit to try to sell properties because he's getting sued by the co-star that's claiming he sexually assaulted her. So he goes to Detroit to sell some of his excess properties to try to get liquidation for his fees because he's not going to get jobs because he's been blacklisted by Hollywood essentially.
Correct, but like the conversation about like, because the coworker or whatever when he asks is like, so what happened, bro? It's like, bro, she wanted it, bro. It was
like his hometown friend.
She wanted it, yeah. It's like she kind of like. she kind of like fight a little bit like at the beginning.
You
like,
you know me. I'm good at coercing her, bro. I just talked her up a little bit, and eventually she said yes. I think literally the line is eventually she said yes. And me and Karen were just like, what the fuck?
It's crazy. So he's because of all his legal fields, he has to be selling his properties that he has. One of them being this well-kept house in this run-down like Detroit area.
Right.
Which Detroit is being pretty much like
we're talking like all the houses are like burnt down to the ground.
It's a
like,
bad thing, man.
Like literally nobody lives out there. Like it's entirely desolate except for this one house.
Oh yeah.
And it's the Airbnb house that I guess was owned by Justin Long and like this property management company that was like Airbnb-ing out his properties.
Yeah.
And he shows up and like all like the belongings of these other tenants are there, and he's just like, dude, who the fuck is living in my house? And again, it shows like this like passive nature of like everybody else, because there's a point where they try to get cops to the house. The cops are like, shut the fuck up, you fucking crackhead, this is Detroit, like you're weird, don't talk to me. Like he tries calling the property management, and he's just like and they're just like, dude, no one lives there, shut up, stop calling me. And like it's just like ineptitude on ineptitude on ineptitude that just leads to like several people dying. But I think like when he gets back to the Airbnb super drunk from the bar with his high school friend, he leaves a voicemail on that co-star that's suing him, and like, you know, his lawyer's like, dude, do not contact her, you fucking weird. He's fucking shit-faced. He's like, hey, I just want you to know that I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I know you didn't say yes entirely, but I just didn't want to hurt you. Like sob story, like he's the victim or some shit. Mm-hmm. Even though he's like openly admitting over a fucking voicemail that he did assault her.
Yeah, and so now we're following Justin Long. We're following Justin Long for like this second act of the movie.
Yeah.
And he finds the same basement that our first, what we thought were our stars, our main, you know, characters, like disappeared. So now he finds it, but now like this is like super cool comedic relief. Was served pretty funny. Because he finds, like, the scary shit, and because he's a scary dude himself, and up here, he sees it as a, like, property opportunity.
Yeah, because, like, he sees this long-ass hallway that's going, like, thousands of feet underground, and he immediately Googles, can I count underground square footage in my property value estimate? And then he finds out he kind of can, and he's just like, yeah! And then he just takes a fucking measuring tape and just like starts measuring the dimensions to this whole ass footage. To this creepy ass fucking tunnel. Like, he sees the creepy room with
he sits on
the bed with like belts on it to like tie people down with the weird little camera. He still doesn't think anything of it. He's still just like, okay, cool, what's this room by 12 by 12 by 12, like okay. And then he's just like going down the hallway, and he eventually finds like this lit up room with like baby stuff and like blanket.
Is a baby maternity video?
Yeah, it like the room has like nasty blankets all over the ground, and
he
like
smells it too. Like he's like, what is that smell? Holy fuck, dude! I don't know what happens. I think
he just keeps going. Like
I think he had said no. He keeps going and he falls in the hole?
Yeah, he keeps going. So eventually, like, the creepy titty monster that, like, scared our characters in the first act, like, he sees lights on underneath this in this cave, in this tunnel, so he knows people are there. He starts screaming, who the fuck is here? Who the fuck is in my house? Blah, 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 blah. And then the weird titty monster, like, chases him down the tunnel, and he falls in, and then he falls inside of this cage, and the titty monster, closes the cage on top of him, and then all of a sudden, end of the second act, he's like, and it's the girl from the first act, and she's just like, shut the fuck up, the weird titty monster's gonna get us. Shut.
He's like, don't get mad, don't react,
just do whatever she says.
Yeah, and then there's like a whole like nasty bottle like feeding situation.
So like the titty monster is just like this, what Aldo was talking about earlier, like this several generations incest fucking beast monster thing that like is obsessed with the idea of having a baby.
Because the only video that there was in the house besides the murder and rape videos that the dad was making was a maternity breastfeeding video, and she like you're not bad, like bad is thought to you, so she just thinks she wants a baby,
right?
So it's being like, itself very like innocent
Mm-hmm.
and naive, but obviously she's a titty monster and she like slime you.
She bludgeoned the it clown over like the side of a cave earlier. So like Act 2 is kind of in two parts, right? So like the first half of Act 2 is that, and then it cuts to like a flashback of like the 1980s, where it's just some old creepy man that's like following like store clerks and like women around town. Like he goes to the supermarket asking for baby gear and like buys diapers and towels and gloves, and it's just like spying on people, like attractive people inside of the supermarket or whatever, and like follows them home, pretends to be like an electrician, or maybe it was a plumber or something like that, like a water utility employee or something. Oh, we've heard that there's outages in this area, and then that gives him entrance into the home, like some Jeffrey Dahmer style shit.
Some windows and shit like that.
Yeah, unlocks windows so that he can kidnap them later. And basically what we learn is that like he owned that house originally, and like we see this scene with his neighbors where they're just like, oh, we're getting out of here, this town's going to shit, this area's going to shit, we're getting out of here. He's like, well, like I guess in his head he was like, well, I can't leave here because I have a fucking sex dungeon down here where I've just been like murdering people and like taking their shit.
I don't think that was his reasoning. I think he was just like, I'm just gonna stay here
because
I have a sex dungeon.
Do you know how much work I put into my sex dungeon?
Exactly.
So that's where we learn that's where this house came from, and that's why it has a secret cave, and that's why like there's a weird titty monster down there.
Yeah. And it just turns weird. The ending, we're not gonna spoil the ending to you because it is. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but it's just something that you have to be there for. I don't think we should talk about the ending.
Oh no, okay.
I think we've talked a lot of like weird shit about it already.
Titty monster.
Yeah, and what was the other?
The third act turns into like really typical like slasher kind of run away from the titty monster kind of story.
Correct. That's exactly what happens. I was talking to V. I was telling her, like, because we started watching the Dahmer show, but we took it off because baby's paying attention to that TV now.
Oh Jesus!
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to wake up with like knives in my chest.
Oh God!
and I was telling her, it's like, yeah, it's like DNA testing wasn't even invented to like late '80s, and the evidence wasn't even being used until like late 90s.
And even then it wasn't like that accurate or anything. It was just like, but I feel like I've passively watched the entirety of the Dahmer show just because like the weekend it came out, like Karen would just not stop watching it. She even like restarted like episodes at certain times. So like even if I wasn't watching it, just me being in the area, I was just like hearing it all over the house. So like I've just passively heard it. I think what's his face is a great actor. The guy from the American Horror Story show. He's really good in it. Another horror thing that me and Karen watched recently was A24's X.
Oh, I want to watch the prequel.
There's a prequel?
Pearl. It's out in theaters.
It's the same story?
It's the same story.
I know it's the same actress.
It's the same story.
Oh, it's not out yet. Okay.
I think it's out already. I think it's out of the theater.
Okay, maybe. You know what I really want to watch? I want to watch the fucking Seashell movie.
Oh, wait, which one?
The A24 one.
The animated one?
The claymation one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that one's rated like really well. Yeah, Sheldon the Seashell or something.
Yeah.
It's rated like really well by critics.
I've seen
you saw it?
No, like I've seen that it's been.
Oh, that's well received. Yeah,
well received. That I do also want to watch it.
I thought you saw X then.
I didn't see X.
You didn't see X.
But it's because I don't know why, but like the trailers for Pearl, they caught my attention more, and then I found out that it's a prequel to X.
I didn't like X.
I didn't see X because I thought I wasn't gonna like it because of what it is.
Well, maybe you should watch it. I don't know. Like I have. So his name is Alex Martinez, right? And like he's the kind of person that like for a few months there he was actively like watching a different movie every day and going online and watching it and like writing reviews about it. And I was having this discussion with him about X, and he liked it a lot. He likes the cinematography, like the metaphors about, like, the plot of the movie is, like, they're in the outskirts making, like, a 70s porn film on the outskirts of Dallas, right? And they rent, like, under false precedences. Like, they lie to, like, this old couple about why they're renting out their like, country shed or whatever, right? And it's because they're making porn. And, like, it's this big discussion on what the it factor is, what like star quality is, right? they're basically taking the girl from Pearl, like the star, and like telling her, like they're kind of exploiting her a little bit, or at least that's how it feels in the beginning, that that she has star quality, that she's going to be next, you know what I mean, when she's really just like some cokehead stripper. But like, so the first like half of the movie is just 70s porn film scenes, right? But then halfway through, like the filmographer, the director, his girlfriend, who's been like super uppity about like, I can't believe we're out here directing porn, is all of a sudden like, let me do it then. Like, if all the talent is on the couch having a discussion being like it's not real, like it's just a movie, you know what I mean? Like, don't be weird about it, don't be a fucking prude about it, like it's just acting, right? Like, everything you thought you saw was just us playing up the part. So she tells her boyfriend, okay, well, I'm gonna do it too then. If it's not real, let me get fucked in. And all of a sudden he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, this isn't what I said.
Classic move.
Which, I'm like, he had a reason to be upset is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But then eventually, like, he just ends up like having to record his girlfriend getting fucked by like the talent, you know what I mean? Yeah, he gets cucked, and then like later that night he's just in the shower taking a cold shower and crying. But then it just divulges from like what would be this highbrow discussion on like exploiting women and what it means to be exploited in porn, and like how like movies aren't real, to just being about slasher stuff. Like, it just turns into a slasher film at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know what like Pearl could possibly be about at that point. Like, I get that it's a prequel, but it's just like is it still a slasher horror thing? Are we still talking about exploitations amongst like young girls in the 70s?
Well, not even the 70s, even earlier, because like Pearl is set in this like weird, again, almost famous kind of thing, kind of like plot where she's trying to be a star, but she's also a serial killer, and I feel like that's the old lady in the X movie.
Okay, yeah. But it's the same.
She's going to pageants and she's like doing.
Oh, you know what? Stuff. Because that's why, like, the old lady in X starts going crazy and murdering everybody, because when she sees the young girl, who's the same actor as the girl in Pearl, when she sees her, she's like, I was once as young and beautiful as you, and now my husband can't even fuck me anymore. And that's why she wants to murder everybody. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so it's about that old lady then.
When she was young.
Which would have been, like, World War II or something. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. All right. I dig it.
So, I don't know. So I want to watch X first, but I think Pearl, I think it's not Alamo Drafthouse where I get my movies. Alamo Drafthouse, please sponsor.
I think I rented X for like $3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, just enter the giveaway. You guys know how to do it. Follow us on all social media at Between Nerds. Email us betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com. We take all like recommendations. We'd love y'all's feedback. Like, if y'all love 8686, like, tell me you shut the fuck up. Like, explain it. Like, my big brain can't take it. Or no, like, please help me understand internet nerd. And, God, I don't know. This is Aldo Mendez. My name is Drew Philip Elias. This has been Between
Nerds.